Yeah. Do you lead and sing? Did they? Can you? Can they walk in and sit down? Maybe take him. I said, it's time for dinner Wednesday evening Bible study. Take this opportunity to welcome everyone here. Certainly do appreciate your presence. So keep in mind Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. For our Sunday morning worship service. Keep that in mind. And also if you're joining us online, we want to welcome you. Say each week we're online each Wednesday at 7 p.m. each Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. If you know someone who might benefit from our online service, please help us spread the word. We want to keep all of those in our prayers, as we mentioned Sunday, that's on our sick list. There may be some others that I need to add to this. If you are, please let me know. Or if you know of an update on someone that I need to give, please let me know. Michael tells me that his mom and dad are this time are doing well. Sissy is improving. Mary, she's improving. So a while ago, she get out there tomorrow and chop that garden. Help that back a lot. She told me to come chop it myself. But anyway, that's Mary. But anyway, we're glad both of them are doing better. Glad Michael's mom and dad. You know, update on anyone else, please let us know. Also, we're going to keep in our prayers Nelson Rickman and Claire in the death of their brother. He was buried just a couple of days ago. And also James Sue Fisher, his family, and also the family of Bill Bingham. Keep all these in our prayers as they are still mourning the loss of their loved ones. I don't know of anyone else that needs to be added to sick this time. Of course, I want to remind you about Sister Shelley. Sister Shelley's not doing well. Ronnie, he is going back a day early. Hopefully, they'll tell you that he can do what he's already been doing. He can walk around. And he's already been doing that. So hopefully they will agree with it rather than, not. Anyway, Ronnie, I'm glad you're doing better and hope and pray that you continue to improve as well. Immediately, as soon as I get through with the announcement, Phil is going to read all of the awards that our young people have received. And if you have an opportunity, please take a look. They did extremely well and they received a number of awards. And one of our older kids also got an award. He'll mention that, so forth. I'm always reading little things, and I read something last night, not before last night. But this young man, the man after my own heart, he is a thinker. I love young people that really think. And, Sunday is Mother's Day. He went into the mother and he said, "Mother, yes." He said, "Am I not the reason that you are mother?" She said, "Well, yeah." He said, "Well, I'll be in the living room waiting on my gift." That's a smart young man. He's a thinker. So anyway, Sunday is Mother's Day. We'll talk more about that Sunday. I know we got birthdays and anniversaries this month, but a certain person, I won't mention his name, because I've got that on the book. But I'm sure for Sunday he'll get that accomplished. That's a big tough one for us, but I won't say that. I'll give you a break. It's good to have you back. Miss you when you're not here. Order of worship tonight, Brother Ronnie and Lear are singing. First song, a 523. We'll be turning in the song books for that. And Eugene will have the opening prayer, and John has the closing prayer, and Clayton has the invitation. Brother.
5:23, all three verses. Let's sing. I know the Lord will find a way for me. I know the Lord will find a way for me. If I walk in heaven's light, shun the wrong and do the right, I know the Lord will find a way for me. The Lord has said, go preach the word to all the world. The Lord has said, go preach the word to all the world. If I walk in heaven's light, shun the wrong and do the right, I know the Lord will find a way for me. Won't it be grand to hear him say, well done? Won't it be grand to hear him say, well done? If I walk in heaven's light, shun the wrong and do the right, won't it be grand to hear him say, well done?
All right, good to see everybody tonight. I guess as you come in, you noticed awards. We didn't give out trophies this time. That's the leaders. And we do want to recognize the people that got awards for different areas. I want to thank especially Karen Sapp, what she does each time that we go. It's a lot of work, all this information turned in. We certainly want to recognize her. Ronnie might help a little with that, I don't know. He was there anyway, on his scooter, so it was. But thank you, Carrie, Bobby, myself, the congregation. We appreciate everything you do last week. And I also want to recognize, thank you, Karen, for your support of these young people, her effort. And also, the grandparents. Thank you, too. I say that now since I've got to be a grandparent. It's kind of special deal. And also, the teacher. Hey, let me thank each teacher. The ones that's assisted with this. Several of you have come to mind. Thank you for doing what you've done. They've been with some others. We appreciate this. Appreciate this very much. And especially the ones that was in last week. Thank you for your work, participation in this, and I'm going to call off the awards, and when I call them off, we go back and they'll be labeled where they can find them. I'm going to start with education. Year-round bulletin board, gold, centurion of scripture, bronze, noble book, silver, good Samaritan, bronze, pearl. High school. Congratulations, David. Eddie Rowe, second language, bronze, good Samaritan, gold, year-round speech, bronze, centurion of scripture, bronze, pearl, high score. Keepers, this is a money management award. Year-round bulletin board, gold, year-round song of praise, bronze, year-round Bible reading and study of gold, first place drawing, sketching, and art says it, and noble books, silver. Congratulations, Eddie. She did it for the mistakes right there. All right, Gracie Youngblood. Gracie got centurion of scripture, a bronze, year-round song of praise, bronze, pearls, a high score, keepers, child care, year-round Bible reading and study, second language, bronze, good Samaritan, bronze, year-round bulletin board, bronze, and noble books, silver. Then we have Miss Vera Reed. Got hers on around her neck. With centurion of scripture, bronze. And Karen Side. Centurion of scripture, bronze. Noble books, gold. Congratulations to all of these. Pick up your awards in the back. Thank you.
Karen, if you'll like get a picture of the girls with their awards, I'll put it in the bulletin. Thank you. It's on. Emma? Bobby been chewing on anything? Bobby's been chewing on this sweat tangle. Okay, I think we're on now. Can you hear me all right? Am I loud enough? Good deal. So, last week, when we left off, I believe we were on page 70 or 70. Yep. 69? Yeah. You're still on page 69. Okay, and we're at the very bottom. Section number 4, page 69 in the green book. We're at the bottom there. And I wrote something down as I was leaving. And the reason that I did this was because I wanted us to have a good understanding of the urgency of our job. Okay, over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about how the world is our mission field and how important it is for us to recognize that, how important it is for us to realize that we need to be spreading the gospel to any and all who would hear it. I want you guys to be aware of just how severe this is. Okay? Since last Wednesday, when we left, there have been about 1.07 million people that have died in the world. 1.07 million people. No, 1.17. I'm sorry. Math teacher. Or not math teacher, English teacher. So, the thing that I want us to realize, the statistics at the bottom of page 69 here, they're not accurate anymore. But the point is going to be the same. Okay, when we look at the statistics here, at the bottom of page 69, it talks about the urgency of this work. Okay, we're talking about evangelism. We're talking about the saving of souls. Okay, we're talking about our outreach. Okay, and how is it that we reach out to people? How is it that we're able to do that? Okay, there's a variety of things that we can do here. Okay, there are people at home who are not able to attend. Okay, when that is the case, then we have things like the TV land up there in the balcony, and they can tune in and they can watch, they can listen, they can participate, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. But that comes with a certain caveat. Okay, because what does happen, and something that Bobby and I have had conversations about, and Bill and I have kind of talked around it a little bit, is the fact that those things do from time to time become a crutch. They become something that people will say, okay, well, I don't feel like getting up and getting dressed today, so I'm gonna stay at home. Okay? Now, the problem ultimately with that is who sees that? Who sees our car in the driveway when we don't get up and we go to worship or go to Bible class? Anyone who lives around you. Okay, what is it? What kind of sermon are we preaching to our neighbors if they know that we're associated with the Fraley's Chapel Church of Christ? Okay, we call ourselves a member of the Fraley's Chapel Church of Christ, and they see us never go to the Fraley's Chapel Church of Christ. Now, is our spirituality a personal thing? It is. Okay? Our relationship, the one that we have with Christ and the one that we have with God, this is on a personal level. Okay? Nobody else is going to understand the level of spirituality that I have and the level of commitment that I have. Nobody's going to get that. But what they will see is how many times on Sunday morning I leave home. They see how many times I come back shortly after lunch. They see how many times on Wednesday night at about 5 o'clock. Somewhere between 5 and 5:30, I leave my house. So I can be here on time, so I can make sure that I'm prepared for Bible class. Okay? Now, what happens inside the home, that's a different thing. Okay? That thing up there is not a bad tool, but it does not need to become a crutch. I think Bobby's going to hit on that a little bit more later, so I'm going to stop on that. But since we've been talking, about another 1,000 people have died. Right? Let's look at the statistics here. Last Sunday, while you were in worship service, 171 people died. Right? And so we started talking, but there have been several more than that. About one, I think it's one every, that's in the world. That's in the world. Okay? And I also kind of looked up the birth rates here in a minute too, because I think that's an important ratio to understand. So, and you got to consider too how many people Okay, we're multiplying more than we're dividing. Okay, we're adding more than we're subtracting, so the world population is growing. Okay, but you know, if you look at the annual statistics, there's about 56 million people that die across the world. Okay, how many is that in the United States? Let me see if I can find that. Across the world, yeah. Well, was it last year or since the beginning? There's 1 million people died in the United States last year. That seems steep to me.
Since COVID.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that does seem kind of steep to me. Okay, so the number of people that died today so far have been about 6,300 people in the United States. Number of deaths per year in the United States is 2.8 million. Person dies approximately once every 11 seconds. Okay, here it's once every 21 seconds.
This year ago.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Yeah, but I mean, even then, you're still talking about that. Ultimately, the point stays the same, though, and it may even become even more urgent when we consider that. I'm looking here to see total deaths. I'm looking to see if I can find this coronavirus global cases. It says total deaths, 6 million. I'm looking on that's the Med India. So I don't know how accurate that's going to be. But I looked at global death clock, and that's what it had. Let's see here. As far as the birth rate goes, okay, so in the United States, I said, how many people did I say died? 63? 6,300? Okay. So to date, we've had 8,600 people born in the United States. So we are seeing we're seeing a growth in population. And so, yeah, naturally we will have more people die. But we cut that number, we cut the amount of time that someone dies in basically in half, right? Okay, at this point when this was written, okay, it's 1 every 21 seconds, now it's 1 every 11 seconds. So we cut that time in half. So, we're looking at a significant number of people, okay? And then we go over to point number 2 on the top of page 70. We're finally on page 70. But when we look at that, it says last week over 29,800 people in this nation alone went to judgment unprepared. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, so on today's clock, let's see here. So if we did deaths per day, this is in the world. No, this is the United States. So if the average deaths per day is 7.8 million, and then so we do that times 7, let's do some maths. 7.8 times 7. Okay, it's 54.6. 54,000, over 54,000 people in this nation alone in a week's period of time. Okay? So how many, we have to answer this question. All right? This is the question that we as a congregation, we got to answer. And this is one that we made at some point in our lives, or even after, we have to answer for. How many had received not a single word from a Christian that their souls were in danger?
years. Where we, when, I didn't want to be the one that, and so forth, and it's going to be, yeah. But when that happened, no longer could eat it, same way.
Yeah.
Started messing up. But sneak back home.
Yeah.
Well, they have not lost contact. Every week they make contact. You know, they just about called me. I didn't even go back. I said this to say that. We have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
We were told, don't come together as a group. Stay at home. Stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
We did. Then, whenever the kind of support, we just start that worshiping.
Yeah.
Together again. Yeah, well, even Peter and I talked about this group. Even though we were in the habit on Sunday morning, one of Wednesday night, we had to kind of give ourselves a little pep talk.
Yeah.
You gotta get ready, you gotta get up, you gotta move.
Right.
And get back. But the weaker Christian is still struggling with that. When we get back in that good habit,
Right.
and so forth, because you know, I look at it like this too. Peter asked Jesus, you know, said, how can I forgive my brother? He said, he said 7 times. How I say it, 7 times said, let's turn that around. We need to constantly be inviting that person, further that, and not only them, but others. If we don't do anything but invite that person to worship service, every time we see them, and sure love that they come to worship. We serve our mission, you know, and over and over and over. It doesn't matter how many times, but we can do it. See these people,
Yeah.
constantly, you know. Over the world. These are like this group keeps reaching out to me every week. Well, now they got my attention, and I know I need to go back because I was doing better, my health wise, and all. So they got me, well, I need to go back.
Yeah.
You keep inviting, reaching out to that person, gives you something to say, do, is going to soak you.
Why is it that, okay, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because why was that effective? Why was it effective to begin with?
Because I was
That's it. Okay. That's the trick there.
I didn't want to let that down.
Right.
Accept that.
Right.
Well, we're here. We're accountable.
Right. Yeah.
We're accountable. Not here because I don't know what I'm saying. I serve them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that we do hold each other accountable. Okay. When we come together, okay, it's when somebody's not here, what do? We wonder what's wrong. Okay, why are they not here? And you know, I think that a lot of it has to do, you know, I agree with what you said about how it was easy to become complacent when we were out, when we were at home. Okay? And we're talking, there were a few months where we couldn't come together, and then when we started, we had it got kicked up again, and so we had to take another break, and that's, I don't think any of us enjoyed that, but at the same time, you get used to that sort of thing. And I think that that's what we're seeing, not necessarily just here, but even across the brotherhood. We're seeing people who got used to staying home. That's a good point too. That's a really good point. Theoretically, you shouldn't be. As much as you can handle it. And you know, like I can speak for myself. If we had to go to Walmart, Okay, we would get online and we would place the order, we'd go pick it up, we would talk to anybody, everything's paid for, they drive it back to the car, and we leave. Okay? And I know that not everybody can do that. That being said, a lot of people didn't treat it, as seriously as I think others did. At the same time, when we can try to look at it in hindsight now. I think that the leadership here made the best possible call that they could with the information that we had. Whose responsibility is it to make sure that people are being safe outside of education?
My point is, see now,
Mm-hmm.
not going to church.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see where you're going. Okay. And that's another good point too. Okay. What kind of sermon does that preach? If they'll see you at Walmart, but they won't see you leave to go to worship, or if you are at home and they see you there and you say, hey, how many of us encouraged others to tune in to the online service? I can look at the numbers because every week I put something on the bulletin about how many people are watching.
I tell you, Sunday morning, I went to the doctor when I did.
Good.
But it's hard to understand.
Okay.
It's not that quick. And when you first come in, I've got the camera sound there. I'm just
That's Bob.
and people I might not get turned out for that.
Okay. Usually, I started a little bit early so that gives people time to get logged in. Because sometimes people they'll come on and then because they know that services don't start until 9:30. So I started a little bit early. I'm the old.
It was conversation, what I say.
I get that, but okay, so the guy that controls all that up there is the same guy that gets up there that does all that. So if I could do both at the same time, I would. You have to forgive me. I'm good, but I'm not that.
One out of 7
Yeah, that's good. So anyway, the whole point of what we're trying to say here is that we need to make sure that our responsibility is here. Okay, we need to make sure that we're inviting people back here. It's less about that thing up there. Okay, that thing up there can become a crutch. That's the whole point of that whole discussion. Okay, it's good to have it in the event that we need it, but it's not supposed to be there for us to decide, okay, well, I don't feel like it, I'm going to stay home and watch online. Okay, if we're sick, we've had surgeries, if we have other things that are keeping us literally, physically away from being here, that's a different thing.
Now we concentrate on that scripture, not for sake.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's if we can avoid forsaking the assembly, that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point. Okay, go ahead and look at number 3 here. It says a child is born in the United States every 12 seconds. Okay, I'm going to amend that. I looked it up just a little while ago. That is every 3.71 seconds. Every 3.71 seconds. Okay? So let's look at the rest of that. If we began 1,000 new Bible classes every day and put 10 people, the number recommended by expert teachers, in each one of the classes, we could not provide for the babies being born into the world. Our task is urgent. Okay? So if 50 years ago that number was accurate, at 12 seconds. Imagine it being 3.71 seconds now. So we're already behind. Number 4. Remember that the preceding points have to do with conditions here in the United States. Okay? Those are all numbers in the United States. With the matter of 1,000-fold intensified when we go outside the nation, and that those are not just statistics or numbers. Each person in the number has an immortal soul. Okay? So, what's more important? The numbers that we're looking at, by the way, 2,000 more people have died. 2,000. Okay. So, what's the whole point of this? This whole section, looking at these numbers. Is it what's happening in these walls? Is it what's happening on the computer? What's the important point? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. The people outside of these walls. Okay. The people in our community. The people that we come in contact with every single day. And there's a lot of things that we got to take into account. There's a lot of things that we'll have to answer for. Are we doing our part? And what is our part? And sometimes when we consider just the saturation in the county, in Corinth, and the surrounding area of the churches of Christ. Okay. How many churches are there local? 7? 17. Okay, that's 7. So 17 churches of Christ in all County. Okay. What about other denominations? Any idea? Okay. So how easy is it here locally now to spread the word to the local community? Which is easier for us to do? When we consider the growth here locally, as opposed to, say, the growth in some of the areas that we support the missionary work. Which ones are being more accepting to the word? Why is that? Yeah.
Basically, we got to make order there's no need.
After mindset.
Yeah.
Something I read.
Oh yeah.
Gotta talk to them. Gotta ask. Goes, Bible would say, oh yeah, it does say that.
Mm-hmm.
But
then I had a lady one time who she made a statement. I don't even remember what it was about. And I wasn't even trying to argue with her about it. She was an older lady. I worked with her at a paint store. She made a statement. I questioned her. I did ask her a question about it, and she said, "Well, I don't know where it's at, but that's what I believe. That's what I've always believed. You're not going to change my life." Okay. Okay. I had another guy one time, he told me that if you wear a goatee, you're trying to emulate Satan. I asked him where that was at. He was like, I don't know. Like, he taught that in the Bible class, but he couldn't tell me where it was at. He said, you stood, huh? Yeah, it's in the Bible somewhere. He taught it in the Bible class. And I was like, okay, well, where's it at? Well, if you look for it, you can find it. I was like, I did look for it. I didn't find it. Can you tell me where it is? And he couldn't do that. So I don't know.
It's in the Bible.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's Shakespeare, buddy. That's a different thing.
John Curtis once said, was his work. Area,
Mhm.
stole a lot of people together.
Yeah.
And he talked to this woman. Finally, she said, I'll tell you what, Mr. Brown, go with that. She said, that's fine. So, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but it doesn't take away the consequence.
We're really good at justifying what we want to. My grandfather's mother. My grandfather was born Catholic. Okay. His mother lived in Massachusetts. She died in Connecticut. But she was Catholic, and she said, I can remember her saying that she didn't believe everything the Catholic Church teaches, but because she wants to be buried next to her husband, she's not going to church. That's how we are. Okay.
But
So,
you know,
yeah.
in America, there's a Bible in every home.
There's a Bible in every pocket.
Yeah. On every cell phone, there's a Bible. So, we can be judged for not taking the gospel.
Yeah.
But person that's got it right in front of him, he's going to be judged for not taking advantage.
That's another excellent point too. Yeah.
And in a society that we live in, all technology and everything, people are not concerned about the total.
No. But we're worried about the superficial things. Yeah.
And you know, at one time, the gospel had doubled before. Who dropped the ball? Ultimately, came to America dropped. It had gone to the known world at one time.
Yeah.
That some that's right. There are people who pass it on. You're not passing it down to our age.
Well, I think you're right. I think part of the problem is though that because we have become so complacent with our station in life, and I think that's why those people that are outside of the United States are so much more receptive to it. Because, like Bobby said, that they don't have a whole lot of hope. Okay, who was it that Christ spoke to when he was gathering people around? Who did he speak to? The poor, those people, the destitute, those people who were sick, that were outcast from Roman society. What did Rome have? Everything the United States has right now. They didn't have the technology, but as far as the nations go, Rome was the top. They were it. What did they do? But Christ cross. Why? Because he was teaching what? Love your neighbor. Right? Okay. So next week, what I want to do is we are going to talk some about some more statistics. I want to look at what some of the other religions are doing, and looking for a pen. So do the one, but David, I will use my pencil. do. I have a lot of seniors. Saying that I'm wasting. Could be better. That's good. That's not. That song will be on page 885. 885. It seems like everyone is either judging or being judged. No matter what a person would do, someone is always there to judge. What they wear, what they smell like, or how they even work, they're going to be judged by somebody else. Who has the right to be judged? And what does the Bible say about it? Well, Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 as an answer. Judge not, that he be not judged. For with what judgment you judge shall be judged, and what measure you meet shall be measured to you again. What does meet mean? It means a punishment. However far you're going to judge someone, you'll be met with the same, even worse punishment. Everyone here has no place to judge one another. James chapter 4 verses 11 and 12. Do not speak evil against one another. The one who speaks against a brother or judges his brother speaks evil against the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not only a doer of the law, but a judge. There is only one lawgiver and judge, who is able to save. But who are you to judge your neighbor? We all have judged someone at many points in our lifetime, versus the gossip or just judging someone. Any sort of judgment will come back to us. We know it's wrong to judge, so why do we do it? One can say it's either human nature or they judge someone because they just dislike the person. So now I'm asking everyone to look past judgment for human nature. So when it's time for us to be judged, we won't be judged first. So if anyone, as he needs to church, as we stand.
All three verses is 885. That's fine. We read of the place they call heaven. It's made for the pure and the free. These truths in God's word He has given us. How beautiful heaven must be. How beautiful heaven must be. We home of the happy and free. A haven of rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be. In heaven no drooping nor finding, no wishing for elsewhere to be. God's light is forever there shining. How beautiful heaven must be. How beautiful heaven must be. Sweet home of the happy and free. Sweet haven of rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be. Here waters of life there are flowing, and all the will drinks may be free. Where jewels of splendor are glowing. How beautiful heaven must be. How beautiful heaven must be. Sweet home of the happy and free. Fair haven of rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. You're visiting with us, you're an honored guest. and ask you to come back anytime you can. Does anyone have any other announcements need to be made? But again, I appreciate it, and everyone's here. And everyone have a safe week, rest of the week. Not anything else. John.
Please. Our dear most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this opportunity that we have to come together to study your word. Thank you for this opportunity that we had to learn more about you and to learn more about our responsibilities and the things that we're supposed to do as we carry out our day-to-day lives. And Father, we ask that you will be with us as we take in these things, help us to apply them to our lives so that we can better serve you, better serve our communities, to be better stewards of your word so that we can be that light that the world so desperately needs. And Father, again, we thank you for everything that you do for us. We thank you for the eldership here. We thank you for the deacon. We thank you for all of the works that we're involved in. Thank you for the young people and the guidance that they have, the leadership that they have, and their abilities to learn and to be a light in their respective circles. And Father, we ask that you continue to be with them and help them to continue to grow. Help us to be mindful of them. Help us to make sure that we do fan those flames so that they can continue to be brighter in the community. And Father, we ask that you'll be with each of us as we get ready to go back out into the work week. Father, we ask that you'll help us to be that light to the world. Help us to know that we are representatives of not just our local communities, but also of your church and the things that you would want for us to do. And Father, we ask that you'll help us to do that. We ask that you'll forgive us of all of our sins. In Christ's own name we pray.
Amen.
That's